Hi everyone, this is Komal and I was a former international student in Canada. Right now I'm on my work permit and this video is about my story about how I came to Canada. I'm going to touch on few points about how to plan, how did I decide, what sort of programs were there. So hopefully you will like this video. I would start with why did I choose that program. Actually, when I was preparing for abroad, I first considered New Zealand, but because of some reasons couldn't go. Then I applied for Canada, and actually I wasn't getting any offer letter because the colleges were already full. And then suddenly my father decided to take me to this Canam's seminar somewhere in Jalandhar. We went there and we saw this Durham college somewhere, and it was close to Toronto, and I wanted to be in Toronto or maybe close to Toronto. So we just went to the kiosk and we started talking to him if there are any programs. Before that time, I actually didn't know what is project management. I was majorly interested in human resource management or international business or global business. Then this guy, the representative, he told me that they don't have any other programs like that, but they do have project management. So that was new for me. That is how I got to know that project management exists. Then I did some research on it, and I realized that it's actually a good program because all the other programs which I was considering are almost similar to it, but this one has a plus point that you can study it after any field. Even if you were in science or computer technology or arts, project management is something which would cover almost everything, because here you would be working as a project manager. Now that project could be events, it could be weddings, it could be a new software, or it could be a building. So it was a huge area. It was a vast, I would say, like for jobs there was a lot of scope. So I decided to go for that. This is how I decided, this is how I chose project management. Now we will discuss what were my steps about applying for the program and then eventually getting a visa. Now, talking about my application process, my application was already being processed by Canam. So I told them that in your seminar I met this guy and this is a program, I like this program. With me, it was every time that I would research my own programs. I was naive initially when I applied for New Zealand, and it turned out not so good for me, so I decided to do my own research. So I have already given them few programs, so I also gave them this project management, especially at Durham College, because that guy said that it will be easier to get your program. So they applied. I would have gotten my offer letter easily, but there was this one issue which came in between. The college said that I have to somehow prove that I do not have any sort of backlog, although I didn't have it. But I don't remember any that sort of document, if a university would provide any that sort of document. Then I went to Lovely, I talked to them, then they pointed me towards the letter which they already gave me few months back for applying to Centennial. And at the end of that letter it was written that I actually never failed any class, or I never had a backlog, and my 3 years are intact. So that is how finally they understood. We submitted that document with all my documents, and I finally got my project management offer letter for Durham College. Now we are going to dive into the programs, the subjects I studied in that. So number one is, in the first semester I had business principles, which are like the basic principles of any sort of business program, or if you want to work in business or corporate in Canada, this program for that, just to make you understand what are the basic ABCs of business in Canada. The second one was principles of project management, same, to make you understand the basic ABCs of project management in Canada. The number 3 one that was project communication. How would you communicate? If you are a project manager, you'll have to have an entire layout, a plan of communication with the internal and external stakeholders. It touches on that. Next one was project management tools and applications. In this we studied few softwares which we could use in project management. I remember studying MS Project. Now, two other programs which I studied in the first semester was project resources and planning and cost management. Now, what is project resources and planning? It's actually a basic outline of all the detailed subjects you would be studying. cost management you'd be covering in this semester itself, and the next semester you'd have risk management, quality management. So the project resource planning is that subject which would give you a brief idea about what all points you would be studying in detail. And then the last one was project cost management, touches all the budget aspects of the project. Now moving to semester number 2, and I personally like semester number 2 because the education I had in semester number 2, because it was more of a practical knowledge. I still remember, I still use those things in my actual real life. So yep, number 1 was capstone project. So that was like the final project, since we didn't have a internship, so we had an industry project. We ran a research project with our university. Number 2 was project leadership. It basically talks about the high level project managers, how you would be handling all the people who are working under you, and how would you will be handling the entire project. Sometimes the projects are huge. And then the last one is applications. It basically touches brief on which are the industries where you can work in project management, what will be your applications in those particular industries, risk management, procurement, and quality management. Now these are the main things which you would be studying, so that once you become a project manager, you can use that information or knowledge which you learned in your actual life or in your actual jobs. So that was all about project management program in Durham College. It might differ a little in other programs or other colleges, but mostly the subjects are similar. So sometimes people transfer from one college to another college. So transferring your credits is also easy if you have studied the previous subject already. So talking about the admission criteria, there were basically just 2 admission criteria at that time. Number 1 was you should be graduate, and number 2 was that you should have a English language test. So in our case, for international students, we usually go with IELTS. So I had both of them. I was a graduate and I had English IELTS score, so that was easy for me to get the program. Talking about fees, the international fees goes around $13,000 for 2 semesters. The duration is 2 semesters. So basically in almost in 8 months you can actually get done with this program. They call it a year program, but since it's 2 semesters and here semesters run hardly for like 4 months, so that's easy. Now we have discussed about the program in detail, what are the subject, what would be the duration. Now I want to touch upon my experience, my personal experience. I joined that program in 2017 of January in Durham College. I do like Durham College. I wouldn't say that it was too hectic. The work life or education life balance was pretty good at that time, and honestly the programs are also very good. Talking about getting jobs in the program, I always say that if you do hard work, if you put in efforts, you will eventually get a job. And in a country like Canada, even this program which I studied was basically focused on 3 different sorts of project. Number 1 was event, number 2 was IT, and number 3 was construction. So now people who go for these programs, they can actually specialize in any 3 of these fields. So that is one good point which I like about this program, because it just not covers only one sort of projects, it covers almost 3 to 4 sorts of project. Another thing is this becomes as your stepping stone to further go to appear for your project management exams in Canada. People go for PMP, people go for CAPM, then PMP. If you're planning to do something like that, doing a 8 months program like this would actually give you a lot of knowledge, would add to your education, and would help you appear for your exams. That was all from my side for this video. Please take care, please get vaccinated, and stay safe.